Pay Your People Better, June 13th, 2026. I got a bunch of Pringles. I've already eaten a good bunch of them. It's like 11:30ish right now on Saturday. Just got done in the gym downstairs. Everything hurts. Oh, speaking of, it's right here. Creatine. Either best done before or after. Actually, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I'm not gonna do it in the kitchen. Because for some reason, in my brain, I can't force myself to wash any dishes right now. So like all of my dishes are dirty. Everything's fucking dirty. And I can't seem to wrap my head around the idea of even starting. Like yesterday I started. And it's just like, I said, you know what, let's go to sleep instead. And then I bought all these fucking Pringles. I've already eaten, let's see. I've already eaten 5. 2 of them are Funyuns, the Funyun minis. I bought them at around this time yesterday. So in a day, I've eaten... That's a lot. Each one of these cans is about 900 calories. So I've eaten minimum, just from those, 4,500. This says 6 servings per can, 150 grams per serving. Oh, this one, per package, 390, so I'm shy a little. How the hell are these less? Doesn't make any sense. About 6 servings per container, yeah. So Pringles are the more calorie dense version over the Funyuns by, you know, quite a lot actually. Holy shit. Whatever. I also bought some potatoes. They're up there. I should have that door closed. It's like that big ass, you know, it's like from the other day. I have a big ass bag of nuts. I have the cashew clusters and stuff. It's just that I've been trying apparently just to not cook anything. Although I had some, since I went to the store and I got a couple of things that I needed. I say need. Not really need. So 2 days ago, I went searching, and I went to Glendale first and basically got almost nothing. But I got some sumac and some Marmite because I wanted to see what the big deal was. And so I'm going to start adding it to stuff. I also have the saffron still. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with them. Probably some kind of soup-related thing. Maybe the ramen. But I bought... some of the Buldak carbonara, and I forgot how spicy this shit was. Fortunately, oh shit, I forgot to buy more shaky cheese. I knew I missed something. I ran out of my shaky Parmesan cheese, and I'm almost out of the actual brick of Parmesan cheese, or the wedge. So, gonna have to take care of those soon. I'm about to fart. There we go. Might as well just get it out. What I was doing was going to take these two, because I know I'm going to be dealing with the DOMs. I might as well just take the ibuprofen and the Tylenol as well, because like I haven't been taking my meds at the right time because I've been going to sleep at weird times, thinking I might go to I might take a nap and then I sleep for 10 hours instead. Oh, fuck. It's like yesterday, when I was about to start doing laundry, doing dishes. It didn't work out like that. Instead, what did I do? I was like, well, I'm tired, I'll just take a nap. And then I slept until like 11:30 or something. God. And it's like I just finished watching this podcast with God, I cannot remember her name. I don't even remember the name of the podcast. It's with Josh Johnson and Ashley, whose last name I cannot remember for the life of me. And I think I'll try to remember to put it in the notes at the beginning at the top of the video. But I think it's like what's new with you, or what's news with you, something like that. And their guest just happened to be talking about, I think, working out or something. And I also restarted a character on the World of Warcraft Ascension server because, like, part of the reason I couldn't finish sleeping is because I started thinking this, and I was like, well, fuck it, let's just do it. And so I took the same character that I had already gotten to level 70 and then reverted it back to level 1. But when you do that, you get some bonuses. And so now I'm using the same character but with a different build. And it's going pretty well. I mean, it helps that, I'm leveling up faster, because you get, like, at least with what I'm getting a 50% bonus to all my experience. So, in addition to anything like rest experience or what have you. So, I will say, probably one of the better light snacks. Like, I'm not going to get a shit ton of these. I'm just going to get, about 8, roughly. They're a good pre or post-workout snack because you get fat, fiber, and protein from the peanuts. And interestingly, depending on, I'm not sure if they have to be cooked first or if it doesn't matter. But so the peanuts give you, reasonable amount of fat, not a whole lot, protein and some fiber. And then of course the chocolate and the candy coating gives you carbs and fat. But I think it was on an episode of The Rest is Science. And I think I even had read it beforehand when Dr. Hannah Fry mentioned it in the episode. And it might have been Michael, I don't remember. But there was a very brief, maybe 60-second conversation about the fact that when you consume peanuts... Okay, so there's been a myth about celery that it's a calorie-negative food. Because the amount of calories that it has that you can acquire from it is less than the amount that it takes to push it through your system. And that's not really how that works. It's a very low-calorie food. Because the body is going to be like, well, okay, I'm going to break down the things that I can break down, but it's not really going to put in a whole lot of extra work to try to break down the fiber. The fiber is just going to pass through you after everything else is essentially, broken off and absorbed. So think of it like a car wash. The car wash is getting rid of all the dirt, but like, it still requires energy to do it. And you are going to get some energy back. I don't know. But nevertheless, celery is not a calorie negative food. That's not how food works. And so, or I mean, think about it this way, when it comes to a car, right? If you have a small car versus a big car, if they're still roughly the same size, it's going to take the same amount of energy, it's going to do the same amount of work just because of how efficient it is. Because the body is very efficient at breaking things down. It doesn't work hard to break food down. It doesn't put in extra effort to try to break food down. It just does what it does. Occasionally you'll have some extra stuff pumped in as needed. You know, a little bit of bile here, some extra insulin, et cetera, you know, regarding various factors, you know, pepsin, et cetera. But it doesn't like put in a shit ton of effort. It doesn't burn a lot of calories in order to eat. Of course, digestion does burn calories. Which is why, like, if you're starving, like literally starving, it's actually not a good idea to eat a lot of food right then and there, because now you're in a different mode. You're in a different survival mode than normal everyday people mode. But I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a human biologist, I don't know all the details. But based on the information I've acquired, it's not how celery works, it's not how digestion works, blah, 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 blah. But all that said, and all that deviation aside, there's something to do with peanuts where, and so this would be the opposite, but has a similar idea of what people are talking about when it comes to celery being a calorie negative food. Peanuts can be difficult for the body to break down, right? So as they pass through, there can be potentially more peanut outside of the gut, or rather in the gut, but outside of the stomach, for instance, because the stomach is where it does a lot of digestion. The mouth is where it starts. You know, that's where your carbohydrates and everything. That's also one of the reasons why things like Pringles are so fucking easy to eat. Especially Pringles, because they're so processed that there's no effort for your body to break down the chip. Whereas if I were to eat a fucking potato raw, it would require legitimate effort to break that potato down so that I could swallow it. Even though it's literally more, even if I tried to slice it as thin as possible, it'd still take more effort, right? And then in your mouth, not only do you have teeth breaking shit down physically, but then you have enzymes in your mouth. And I always have to do this. So, people who are lactose intolerant, that is the sugar that is inside milk, because they are missing or have a limited supply of lactase, which is the enzyme that helps break it into simpler sugars. In your mouth, you have an enzyme in your saliva called amylase, and it helps break down amylose and various other starches and sugars in your mouth. So that's why, and so when it starts breaking down in your mouth into simple sugars, by the time it gets to your gut, it basically isn't doing any kind of work. I mean, it's still going to be, the effort to move it is going to be there, and it will break it down more so, but it's doing less work in that regard. And so, anywho, I'm out of breath because I was on the elliptical for 10 minutes and then did various lifty, heavy things, even though they were only like 55 pounds. But apparently, if you do not digest enough of a peanut, because of the way that the nutrition is locked in, it actually has It requires more effort. Damn it. Fucking mustache. I'm gonna have to shave that soon. I'm gonna actually shave all this. Not shave, but I'm gonna trim it back down to what it used to be. I'm gonna keep the hair long, but I'm gonna trim the beard because I'm just kind of getting tired of it getting in all over the fucking place. Maybe as I get older and I just don't give a fuck, then I'll start, but whatever. But evidently, the caloric content of peanuts, if you do not chew them significantly enough, you can actually not get the calories. And so as such, they are more likely to pass through you without being absorbed. Again, I don't truly know because I didn't do the fucking studying. And I know that kind of discredits the whole negative, but that's the thing too. It's still not a negative calorie food even in that regard. You're just not getting all of the calories. It's just kind of like when you eat food in a certain way, you're not getting all of the nutrition. If you boil a bunch of greens and then you just dump the boil water, you're losing a lot of nutritional value out of it because of the way you've processed it. Because when you're cooking, you're kind of pre-digesting your food. So yeah, anywho, I think I should also take one of these because I don't remember last time I've taken these. And I say one serving because I don't know why they gave me children's. But, speaking of nuts, that's why I bought some cashew clusters, and that's why I bought the prunes. The one thing that I didn't do enough of, is I didn't think about it until later. Because I had these yesterday. I did not buy the normal barbecue because I don't like normal barbecue chips. But I bought the smoky mesquite barbecue because I was like, well, it's a new flavor. Let's see. Does it still have some of the same qualities? And no, it does not. Which I think is awesome. I scarfed those fuckers down so fast yesterday. So I think I ate just this one yesterday. And then since I've been awake today, I've eaten the other 4. And admittedly, when I say I've eaten, 4,500 calories, I've actually eaten more because I've also had at least 3 servings of prunes so that I can, help to move this shit out of me, literally. I also had 2 macadamia clusters. I also had the buldak ramen plus some of the remainder of my shaky cheese, which was probably a couple tablespoons tops, maybe 1 tablespoon. I don't even know. And about a half a cup of milk because that was one of the things that I had to do to not only cool it off but also to mitigate the heat. And then I threw in some nutritional yeast. But yesterday and the day before was also a lot of walking. Yesterday, not as much. Because yesterday, really all I did was just go to the Food for Less. But I had to walk like half a mile just to get there from the bus stop. At least it felt like it. It's also to go upstairs. Because like where the bus stop was versus where the Food for Less is, there's an elevation difference, pretty significant one. That's one of the things about LA that like nobody really ever talks about. Like people talk about hiking, but most of the time they're talking about like in the hills, right? LA has hills all over the goddamn place. It's just that it doesn't seem like it because a lot of the shots you get are like beach shots or they're very specific areas where there's not a lot of like hilliness, or they shoot it in hilly areas. But like downtown isn't exactly hilly, but it also is. It's just that you're not gonna usually see much of the gradations when it comes to like films and shit, and the average person isn't talking about it. They're not talking about the fact that they walked up the hill to at Angel's Flight, they probably took the funicular, which is the world's shortest one apparently. Yes, Los Angeles touts the world's shortest funicular. I think my phone is going to be buzzing right now. I think the alarm is supposedly going off soon, if it hadn't already gone off. I don't know, because it goes off at 12:15, and it is 12:15. So maybe it did its thing, and I didn't notice until just now. I don't know, whatever. But I think I may have already mentioned this, but in the last video, I can't be for certain, because I watch my videos once just to make sure like everything sounds good and that like I at least made some kind of point. But something that I'm definitely, and especially now, and I may have mentioned this, but I need to prepare my life for my worst days, and as such, I need to have the stuff that I have in my life for said worst days. And so, like, yeah, I've got 2 loaves of bread worth of dough, but I haven't touched it in over a week. I haven't re-kneaded it or anything. It's just been sitting in there. Now, does it have, something covering it? Yeah, it's on there kind of loose. I mean, it's pressed to seal, but how sealed is it? I don't fucking know, because I haven't fucking opened it. And so, like, I don't want to ruin that bread, but also I don't want to cook it. And it's like, the funniest thing is like every day, easily 2 to 3 times a day, I've been wanting a cat more and more. And I'm like, why in the fuck would I do that? Why would I bring a cat into my life? And part of it is, I think, well, if I have a cat in my life, that cat is basically going to make me wake up at times. It's going to make me do work. But then at the same time, like, I don't know to what degree I'd be able to successfully take care of that thing. And with the finances kind of semi up in the air because of the Iceland thing, I'm not touching anything. I'm not making too many purchases. Like, I got a couple of things on the way. I've got some, I got a little fan because, I need a fan in here. Because, turning the AC on is the only way to get the breeze going. And sometimes I don't want to be cold. I just want to be not hot. And throwing a fan on just for a little bit can help with that. Put it over on my shelf, point it up, and let it do its job, whatever. So I bought a cheap little fan, and I got a yoga mat. It's on the way so that I can do some of the exercises that, the at-home stretchy related exercises that I need to do for my back. But I look at this place and I'm like, this would not be amenable to a cat right now. I don't even know how safe these racks would be for a cat. What if the cat tried to climb up and then it gets its fucking leg caught or some shit? And so I'm just like, people talk about, oh, well, maybe you should go volunteer at a shelter. And I'm like, what am I going to fucking do there? I barely want to do enough work to stay alive, let alone be at a shelter where I'm basically doing work for them for free. So I'm just going to deprive myself of any possible joy in that regard right now. I'm only in my mind because I haven't really tried to rewrite anything. In my mind, rewriting this joke, but mostly forgetting it because I'm lazy and forgetful. Because I wanna try it next week, but at the same time, I'm not putting any effort into it either, which sucks. Because oftentimes I'm either straight up forgetful, or I just need to go to sleep. I don't know. Have fun.